I guess a lot of people don't really aren't too familiar with who I am, like at that point, or my style. I get a lot of slack for my style or for whatever. But when you in there against another heavyweight and you feel the strength and you feel the power, it's it's a little different.
Yeah.
I respect every fighter. I respect everybody, but everybody, it's easy to look videos and look at this and look at that and be like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's doing this and doing that. But then when you're in there, you realize it's a lot different than what you're seeing with your eyes.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. Today we got a heavyweight monster, or should I say the motor. Mohammed Usman is here. Mo, how's life?
Everything is great, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming. When did the motor become your nickname and why?
Man, crazy story. My coach gave me that name in when I was playing football. I was a defensive end. I was a linebacker defensive end my whole life. So one of my coaches gave me that nickname in high school because I was relentless when it comes to running down the football. Wherever the ball was, I'm running down. I just always wanted to just show my coaches, I could do it all. Like the receiver would catch the ball and you'll look and I'm sprinting down to try to make a tackle with the DBs. And the coaches is like, you're the motor. And ever since that nickname just stuck with me. And I went on to college. It was still the same name. And then, it just made sense to just transfer it from fighting over. It just made sense.
And you got the nickname basically in high school, right?
Yes, I did.
Because in college, when you played for Arizona, you played defensive end.
Yes, I did.
And how was that transition from football to MMA?
I mean, it was I don't want to say it was tough, but physically it's physically, we're physical specimens, because of just training every day and there's just the rigid aspect of football, right? But then you have to understand to get into MMA, you have to be able to hone in on everything. You basically learn your body a lot more, hone in on your body, hone in on your recovery. It became MMA is tough, man. And for me to even be able to make it to this level that I am, I'm very grateful.
We actually spoke to Eric Anders yesterday. Eric Anders played for Alabama.
Yeah.
He actually has a national football championship ring. I forgot what year it was, but he had a strip sack in that game. And I was asking him why we see so many people, so many football players transition because, we got Hardy, in other promotions, you got Herschel Walker, you had Sean Jordan or Sean Chase, was it? I think it was Sean Chase.
I remember Sean Jordan.
Sean Jordan, yes, Sean Jordan. He's won a couple national championships. Um, I wanted to know. Oh, even the person that you fought in the tough finale, Zach Paga, is ex NFL. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Got it. So I noticed that in your career, you've never been knocked out. Do you think that has anything to do with your size or neck strength?
Uh, I mean, getting out the way. I mean, that's number one. Getting out the way of punches, and then and to say that, yes, I work on everything. I work on my core. I work on my chin. I work on my jaw. It doesn't look like much, but when you see all the work we as fighters put in to get to where we're at, and don't get me wrong, I've been doing this sport now for a little over 8 years. Some fighters train more than others. So yeah, I've definitely, like anything, right? Kobe Bryant, the work he puts in to be able to be as good as he is. And, so one thing I learned about the sport is, if you don't want to get knocked out, you train. You do a lot of shit to protect yourself from when punches come and hit you, you can absorb them.
Well, yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, so Kobe is like everybody's North Star over here. Growing up, everybody was a Kobe fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I noticed that, you weren't born in Texas. You're born in Nigeria. You
Yeah.
grew up in Texas. Now I come from an immigrant family too. How was that experience for you as an immigrant?
Oh man. It's eye opening, you know. Growing up, man, in Texas. I mean, first coming from Africa, from Nigeria to Texas, it was awkward. I still remember me and my brothers did we had to start off in ESL classes to try to kind of bring us to the level of to being in America. And you know, and I still remember this story that I told people. I was in elementary school, and one of the kids told me to say the F word, and I didn't know what it meant, so I went and said the F word, and I got in trouble. And that was one of the first times where it's like you learn, you know, this country and this culture too. You know, you get adjusted to it, and yeah, and I felt like we made a smooth transition. You know, when it just came to just you know you just kept getting used to it. You got to take L's before you win, right? So once you get that rhythm and you get the groove, we just fit right in.
Felt like as an immigrant, the first thing that you got to figure out is the sense of humor, right?
Yes,
Because you
100.
just don't understand like why everything is so funny. You come from such a serious background, all the
Yes.
struggle to get to America, right?
No, and it is
And
crazy when you think
yeah,
about like growing up. Everybody, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but everybody hated Africans. You know, I was an African booty scratcher growing up. You know, that was the thing what people would say. But now as you get older, everybody wants to be African. Everybody's doing their everybody's going to do their DNA. I got 10% African in me. Oh my God. But before, no, everybody hated us. But then now when you see how all these Africans are succeeding and winning, it's like, oh man, I'm 10% Nigerian. You know, guys, that not everybody wants to be African. Everybody wants to be this and that. But when you were growing up, everybody hated it. I'm not African. I would even tell, I was like, you're African. We're all African. No, I'm not. I'm from New York. I ain't African. I'm like, yes, you are. No, I'm not. I'm not African. You are. And then now everybody wants to be African.
well, so many champions out of Africa. I mean, besides the fact that people just try to hang on to the fact of like, oh, I have a diverse bloodline or whatever. A lot of the champions now, we saw from Africa, Israel Adesanya, obviously New Zealand by the way of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Your brother Kamaru, we got Drikis. So, Africa's on the come up. But I've heard that Nigerian parents are particularly strict. Was that the case for you guys?
Times a million. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, my dad was extremely strict.
Well, I've heard in another interview you said how tight knit you guys were as a family, especially since your dad went to prison for a while. I'm sure things got more strict at that point, right? Because now you can't lose anymore. You can't lose an inch now. You just got to move forward. So how was that experience like growing up?
Uh, I mean, it was I mean, I'm trying to understand what you said. Like I know my dad went away, and we were already in college at that moment. You know, so
Oh, you were okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
So
that's my lack of research. My bad.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we were already. So we're like that. We're like the man in the houses at this point, you know. And we gotta take care
Yeah.
of our and do everything how we needed to, and handle our business. You know, we were grown at that point, and then you know, and I'm blessed to be able to say that you know me and my brother and my other brother Cash and my sister, we did everything we needed to do to make our dad's time a little easier. You know, and like my dad still tells us, like you know, we kept him going in there when they would all lock in and watch the fight nights and watch me and my brother fight. And he said that kept him going, you know, because it's not easy to be in there. And to have your sons doing what they needed to do to handle the business and keep the family name going, it kept my dad going in there, and that still motivates me to this day.
I'm sure you have very proud parents. You have a very, very successful family. When I saw you first on Tough, I was so surprised because of how big you were. I'm like, damn, this guy's a problem. Like, honestly, when I saw the first face off and really how wide your neck and your shoulder area is, I'm like, damn, like if this guy's gonna fight like Kamaru, this guy's gonna take everybody out. I felt like you had a target on your back in that house. Is that true?
I've always had a target on me, still to this day. You know, I've always had a target on me, man. and it's easier said than done, right? But I can honestly sit here and say that, like, still to this day, even in the UFC, every fight there's a target on my back. In the house, there was a target on my back because my brother won the show. And and that's why they say, man, the Lord doesn't make any mistakes. And think of me and my brother are the only brothers in the history of the UFC to win the Ultimate Fighter. And then I'm
Yes.
still here. I'm still here, still chugging along, man. So, the man upstairs doesn't make any mistakes. All we have to do is do our part. And if we do our part, it will be all right.
Yeah, and that was a stat I was gonna bring up, that you guys are the first and only brothers to ever win tough, both of you. When you
Yes.
got into the house, I don't think you were the top prospect though. I think the guys you fought were the top prospects.
I fought the two best guys in the house.
Yeah, Palga and shit.
I fought the tall kid.
Eduardo Perez,
Yes, he was the number one pick.
number one.
He was the number one pick team, the number one pick in team Nunez, and I was
Yup.
the number one pick with team Pena.
I didn't even I for a second I thought Palga was the number
Nah,
one
I was
pick. Nah,
one
yeah,
pick.
you were.
I was number one pick team Pena.
But see, at the finale, they had you at a plus 200 underdog.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy, and the reason and it's crazy because they've always had me as the underdog, and I guess a lot of people don't really aren't too familiar with who I am, like at that point, or my style. I get a lot of slack for my style or for whatever. But when you're in there against another heavyweight and you feel the strength and you feel the power, it's it's a little different.
Yeah.
So I respect every fighter. I respect everybody, but everybody, it's easy to look videos and look at this and look at that and be like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's doing this, he's doing that. But then when you're in there, you realize it's a lot different than what you're seeing with your eyes.
But how does it feel to live in a house where everyone wants to beat each other up?
It was motivating for me. If it's kind of like the story of my life, man. Like, I've never gotten nothing easy in my life. Nothing I've ever gotten in this life, nothing, even a cookie. I had to work. I've never gotten anything easy in this life, man. And then to be in a house where it's like, and all you didn't have no books or nothing. All I had was my journal and myself, and I would just literally write and talk to myself and just kind of put the thoughts on paper, and it just get to a point where I'm look like, man, my life has always been hard. Look at this now. They put me in a house with these guys. They give me free food, free drink, free water. I ain't losing. The only focus I got is to train, eat, sleep, repeat. So it's a different you gotta it prepares you for the life in the UFC. Truly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because in the UFC, I'm sure you even have heavyweight fighters in your gym, right? At Killcliff
Yes.
in the UFC.
Yes. We have a couple that can go that they do their training camps to different places. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have a couple UFC heavyweights there.
That's the tough part, right? At the end, there's only one belt.
Exactly.
There's
But
only one belt.
No, there's a ton of 170 guys in my gym, a ton of 85ers in my gym, the highest level fighters, right? And you realize at the end of the day, of course, there's only one belt, but it's still a business. And
Yes.
everybody has to make money to feed their families.
Yeah.
So when the
Yeah.
time comes, it is when the time comes to fight somebody else, like our manager said, right? Ali, he said, man, lions have to eat lions. You get to the point where the best has to fight the best. That's what makes the sport great.
Yeah. Can you tell the fans a little bit about Ali, because the first time I found out about Ali was in the Conor and Khabib press conference where Conor started going at him, and then I started googling, oh, who's Ali? Who's Ali Abdelaziz?
Uh, I
And
don't.
now it seems like he's managing so many fighters. Was
Yes,
it like that before and we just didn't know about it?
100%. Ali's been doing this for a long time, and I can't speak on anything else. I just he manages, of course, me and my brother and a lot of other fighters too at the highest level. And I can honestly say he's a great manager. He has, he does what he needs to do for the fighters. He has a great relationship with the UFC. You know, everything else is like, I mean, he's a boss.
Yeah,
And that's why he carries himself like he is. He's a boss, and
yeah.
I wouldn't want to be represented by nobody else but him.
I really like one time I saw, I think on UFC Embedded, how he has the big dinner before the fight night.
Yeah.
I'd like to attend one of those one day. Um, the left check hook, right, that you took out Pago with.
Yes.
What did you see? What kind of tell did you see that you timed that correctly?
Man, we worked it actually a lot in training, and it was just a reaction left hook. It was just a reaction left hook, and then when he threw that, he threw a jab, and I saw him because he threw it and he stuck his head out to the side. So it's almost like he was like half in. He didn't commit fully to the jab, but then he stuck his head out to try to get away from my punch, which didn't make which it is what it is. You see it in the fight, and then I didn't take a huge step back. It was only a little step that I took, and I saw his, and it's almost like I saw his head and I just touched him. It was just like a it was like simultaneous. I can't even. It was just as soon as I took a step back, his head went right at. I just touched him right in his face, and it felt like I plugged in a charger.
Sometimes we hear that. I think actually we hear pretty often from corners when they say you're putting too much into it. Just throw it, like don't throw it full power. We saw that with Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Um,
You bring more power when you throw less power. Sometimes, if that makes you feel. You
yes, yes,
Yes.
the shorter ones, right?
Yeah,
It depends where you meet him at.
exactly. And because he might meet you too. You might have it right here and he meets you. You
Yeah,
know. So like that's what it said too, right? Like if I throw a punch, the guy sees it coming compared to when you just boom. It hurts
yeah,
more when you with boom, because if you see it coming, you can defend it.
yeah.
Compared to when you don't feel it nothing at all and boom, something just puts you to sleep.
Yeah, yeah, and then you got Michael J. White. I don't know if you know Michael J. White always talks about how um throwing your punch, you don't realize really how much you telegraph it, and you want to throw it in a more nonchalant, closer way. And I love to see the short check hooks. Easily my favorite strike knockout to watch in the UFC. But look, October 11th, you're going down to Rio de Janeiro, right? You have a tough fight. You have somebody, you're fighting somebody. Oh, another half of a brother in the UFC, Walter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother. He is on a 3-fight first round heel hook streak. What are you doing to prepare for that?
Everything necessary. Everything necessary prepare for it, man. I'm doing everything necessary to prepare for him. He's a hell of a fighter. I watch film on him. I don't take him lightly. You don't take nobody in the UFC lightly, and I'm doing everything necessary to prepare for him, and I will be ready. I will be ready to meet him in the middle of the cage and be ready to go to war. That's it. It's going to be a war. I'm prepared to go to war in there. So whatever it is that I've been drilling it, drilling it, drilling it, drilling all the positions, drilling everything. I'm not taking nothing lightly. I'm not taking him lightly. He's a high level guy, high level fighter, and I'm treating him as such because I'm coming in there. I'm coming in there with everything I got, and I'm going to be prepared to go to war with this guy, and that's all it is.
I can't wait to see it because that card is going to be a super good fight night. The Brazil cards are always super good. How do you feel about traveling? Are you comfortable with it?
I love it. My last fight was in Azerbaijan, Baku. I love this. This is what I live for. This what shows me I'm in the UFC for this reason right now. This is a blood sport. You be able to travel the world and fight and come home and celebrate with your family. I love it so much, man. It's not even funny. Like just being able to travel to Brazil and go put my foot in the sand and then put my hand in somebody's face on a Saturday, like, there's nothing better.
How much does pent up aggression and anger play a part in your fight career?
None. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I'll be lying to you if I could tell you I don't have a lot of pain in my heart. You know, it's not aggression, man. I've been through a lot in my life. I got a lot of pain. I'm different than a lot of fighters. Some guys can do different things everything with me is emotion, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm an emotional guy. I've been through a lot in my life that I guess made me like this. You know, I have a lot of pain in my heart, and I fight for my life, you know. So when I get in there, I put my emotions out. I put my emotions out, which helps me focus as well. I'm not so emotional I'm detached from my focus. My emotional aspect of what I've been through is what puts me in the focus mindset to go get my job done, any means necessary. So I'll be ready to go, man, come October 11th.
I can't wait to see it, bro. All power to you. You said you're emotional. I'm also a little brother. I have two older brothers, and I'm way more emotional than they are. I notice at the same time, Kamaru doesn't seem very emotional. Is he actually not emotional, or does he just keep it together for the camera?
Everybody's different, man. You know, and he keeps his emotions. He keeps how he keeps it in his own way. You know, and plus everybody's been through stuff in their own world in their own life that is different. You know, his emotions. I can't. Everybody's different. You know, and everybody's been through stuff. Not saying the things I've been through is more than anybody else. The things that I've been through and just who I am as my life and my makeup is why I'm like this. You know, his
Yeah,
makeup is different, and I respect everybody's
claro.
makeup. You know,
Yeah. Whenever and you know, this conversation is about you. I don't mean to make it so much about Kamaru, but I know you love talking about your brother too. I've seen it in press conferences. Um, how does it feel being in the corner of your brother's fight when there is shit talking with the opponent? Like all the way through camp, when there's hostility against the opponent, like does that make you uncomfortable? How does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm shit. When my brother fights, I fight, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean, it definitely is more. It pumps you up, and it's and you're your brother's keeper. So it's like I'm prepared to go to war. You know, if something breaks out, you know I'm with it.
of
So it's
course.
like, yeah. So it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Let's go. You know, so that's one of those things where it's like I'm just always prepared to go to war, man, with my brother, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, outside of fighting, outside of training, how do you spend your time?
Man, like, I was just talking to one of my people today, man, I gotta go back to being human again, cause I don't do anything. I train and do recovery every day in my life. Every day I wake up, sleep, eat, train, rinse, repeat, recovery. That's it. You know, so sometimes like they were saying, like I gotta be human a little bit. You gotta go back to being human again, detach from it a little because you don't want to be so congested in it that it takes your life away. And I feel like at this point, that's what we do. I got to get, but for the most part, I love going to the beach. I love the beach out here. You know, just to relieve stress, just go out and walk on the sand. You know, I love eating seafood. You know, it's a lot of different things. You know, I love that.
Do you cut for your fights or no?
No, no, I don't. You know it's heavyweight. So the last couple fights before I kind of gotten into a groove, I was coming in too low. I was coming in too low. But now that I've gotten into a good groove, I'm coming into these fights 245, 250, solid.
Mohammed, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming on our podcast and doing the show with us. Before we leave, I want to ask you one question. I want your take on this. What do you think about open scoring?
I mean, it doesn't. It really doesn't. If you think about it, it doesn't really. It doesn't really change anything. Like open scoring is, I mean, you know, oh, this guy won the round. So are you saying like to go into the next round knowing you lost the round? So it's like,
Yes.
okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, that might make sense. To a certain aspect, if you think about it, that might make sense. You know, it's like, damn, I'm down 2 rounds compared to you thinking you're down 2 rounds. You know you're down 2 rounds physically, you know? So that's something you can see. Oh, 2 rounds, he's won. So I know I gotta knock this guy out compared to your team, you know, basically I feel like it's always been open scoring, but it's been more with your team. You're down 2 rounds, you gotta knock this guy out. You know,
Yeah.
now it's gonna be open scoring on the screen, which makes sense. You know, I don't see nothing wrong with it, man. I mean, I think it might be even better.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to leave the fans with before we leave?
Man, thank you guys for sticking with me, man. And we got so much more coming, man. I can't wait. And this fight is gonna be amazing. I'm preparing myself to go to war, and then at the end of the night, I'm gonna be in the top 15.
Guys, October 11th, UFC Fight Night in Rio de Janeiro. Mohammed Usman, he's fighting Walter Walker. Make sure to tune in for this fight. Make sure to tune in for all of his fights. Hey, this podcast was a great time. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching Never Made Weight.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
He's wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.